Tyson Fury is on record as saying the hardest fight he had in his career was against Steve Cunningham. Now, in a recent interview, Cunningham commented on Tyson Fury's last fight against Francis Ngannou and also his next scheduled fight against Alexander Usyk. Regarding Ngannou, he said, "I believe Ngannou only looked as good as he did fighting Fury because Fury didn't take fighting an MMA guy seriously. Ngannou does have unbelievable power though. He landed a clean shot on Fury, who wasn't in shape at all." Regarding the Usyk fight, he said, "I think Usyk wins by decision against Fury. Either that or Fury gets disqualified. Fury's going to have to lean and lay all over Usyk to tire him down as he does usually. I think the referee will be alerted to this before the fight and Fury will lose points." Now, the interesting thing is, Fury seems to be making an attempt to preempt such a scenario by claiming in recent weeks that Usyk has a history of pretending to be fouled, which is absolute nonsense. Even Frank Warren has got in on the act, calling Usyk a crybaby. All of this seems to be laying the ground for Fury to foul Usyk and try to get away with it. Now, to give you some evidence of what a liar and how deceitful Tyson Fury is, if you actually needed any evidence at this point, ever since AJ lost to Andy Ruiz back in 2019, Tyson Fury has constantly claimed that Ruiz only had a 2 or 3 week training camp and wasn't match fit. The inference being Anthony Joshua is so bad that he lost to a guy that wasn't even prepared. I said at the time that this was absolute nonsense because I watched Andy Ruiz fight Alexander Dimitrenko about 1 week before he got the call to fight AJ. Manny Robles, who was Ruiz's trainer at the time, said as much in a recent interview. He said, "It wasn't really at short notice. What people don't know is we were just coming off a fight with Alexander Dimitrenko in LA. So we went through a full camp and a week later, we had the fight with Anthony Joshua. So we got back into the ring and the timing was perfect. We fought someone who is very similar to Joshua. A week later, we then got the call for the huge fight against Joshua. So we had like a month in camp, but the hard work was already done as Dimitrenko was very similar to Joshua, a big, strong and solid guy." So the reality is, Ruiz trained about 6 weeks for Dimitrenko, had 1 week off, then trained another 4 weeks for the Joshua fight. That's literally a 10-week camp with a 1 week break. And yet Tyson Fury's been claiming that Ruiz only had 2 or 3 weeks training and wasn't prepared at all. He's known all along that that's not true, but the man's just a pathological liar. And he specializes in trying to deceive the public with false narratives. And he's trying to push another false narrative right now about Usyk faking fouls. So let's keep an eye on this, people. Let's not allow Fury to try and preempt anything. Let's call out what he's doing. Let's spread public awareness about what he's doing so that we get a fair fight. That's if Tyson Fury actually turns up this time, if he actually gets in the ring. Now, just like Steve Cunningham, Alexander Usyk is a former cruiserweight. But let's face it, he's better than Cunningham. Better footwork, better defense, better all-round game. It's possible that Steve Cunningham was maybe a bit more athletic than Usyk, although Usyk is very athletic himself. The kind of punch that Cunningham caught Tyson Fury with in the second round to drop him isn't the type of shot that Usyk typically throws. Nevertheless, Usyk has got an arsenal of loads of other punches that he does throw, which could be very problematic for Tyson Fury, plus he's a southpaw. And so the reason I bring these comments from Steve Cunningham up, the fact he's picking Usyk to win, is due to the fact that Cunningham gave Fury so much trouble, and he gave him all that trouble when he was a much younger man. Fury was still in his 20s at the time. Now he's in his mid-30s with a lot of miles on the clock, a lot of wear and tear, going up against the guy better than that version of Steve Cunningham that Tyson Fury fought all those years ago, and he wasn't as fresh as Usyk. Cunningham had taken a lot of punishment in his career by the time he fought Fury. Usyk really hasn't taken punishment in terms of punches to the head because his defense is so good. It's very, very difficult to catch this guy clean. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. And before I go, some of you have been asking for my post-fight thoughts on Vidal Riley versus Mikhail Lawal, Chris Kongo versus Florian Marku, Erislandy Lara versus Michael Zarafa, and so on. I actually uploaded all of that to my Patreon page a couple of days ago. So if you want to access it, as well as all of my other extra boxing content, download the Patreon app from the Play Store or the App Store, head on over to my page, which is called The Brotherhood of Reason, and select the boxing tier. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a whole lot cheaper. So yeah, check out my Patreon page for my extra boxing content. We've also got a members chat and what have you. And of course, my non-boxing content is also available on there on a different tier if you're interested in that. All the relevant links are in the description box below.